A black screen. The sound of a heavy metal door slamming shut fade in slowly to a grainy, black and white aerial photos of an island in the US Virgin Islands. Text overlay appears. Little St. James, 2006. For decades it was a whisper, a rumor traded in the back rooms of New York penthouses and the private cabins of Gulfstream jets. Te Kayit Eat Pedophile Island. They called it a fortress of impunity. Rapid montage of flashing camera strobes, redacted legal documents, and the faces of powerful men. Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Elon Musk. The music builds a low, throbbing industrial synth. We were told justice was served when Ghislaine Maxwell went to prison. We were told the case was closed when Jeffrey Epstein died in his cell. We were lead to. A specific date flashes on screen, February 2, 2026. On February 2nd, 2026. The dam finally broke. Under the pressure of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the U.S. Department of Justice released the final cache, 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. Tonight, we do not deal in rumors. We deal in the files. We are opening the Black Book one last time to reveal what the Department of Justice tried to hide for 20 years. Who was on the island? What happened in the temple? And why, after all this evidence, is no one else in handcuffs? Title card slams onto screen. The Epstein Files. Endgame. The 2026 release. What changed?
Welcome. What we are looking at today is the result of a bipartisan push in Washington that culminated just days ago. For years, the public saw only fragments flight logs here, a redacted deposition there. But the February 2026 release is different. It's the raw data. Among the millions of pages, we have new clarity on the enablers. These aren't just the famous names. These are the mechanics of the machine.
The system failed them twice. First, by letting Epstein go, and now, by carelessly exposing their identities to the world. But amidst this tragedy, the files have also illuminated the connections of the world's most powerful men. Perhaps the most damaging visual from the 2026 release concerns royalty. We have known for years about the allegations against Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. He was stripped of his royal titles, his military patronages, and his dignity, but he always maintained a specific defense. I do not recall. The new files contain images that appear to show the former prince inside the Epstein mansion, crouched over a young woman whose face has been redacted. The context is unclear. Was this a game? A massage? An assault? UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has now called for Andrew to testify, stating, anyone with information should be prepared to share it. The files also include emails from 2010 years after Epstein's first conviction, where the prince invites Epstein to Buckingham Palace, promising lots of privacy. This obliterates the "I didn't know" defense. The timeline proves that the friendship continued well after Epstein was a registered sex offender. The Crown may have stripped his titles, but the files suggest the relationship was deeper and darker than the palace ever admitted. Epstein didn't just collect girls, he collected power. He treated billionaires like trophies. Let's talk about Donald Trump. The 2026 files mention him over 1,000 times. However, we must be precise. A mention is not a conviction. The files confirm what we knew: Trump flew on Epstein's jet in the 90s, appearing in flight logs 7 times. The new documents detail an FBI interview with a victim who claimed Ghislaine Maxwell presented her to Trump at a party. Yet, the FBI notes state they found no credibility to the claim at the time. Trump's defense has always been that he banned Epstein from Maryland. The files confirm a falling out, but they also show a familiarity that spanned a decade. Then there is Elon Musk. For years, Musk claimed he never visited the island. He called Epstein a creepy loser. But the new emails tell a more complex story. The 2026 release includes emails from 2013 where Musk and Epstein discuss a visit to Little St. James. Musk asks, "What day night will be the wildest party?" Epstein replies, "Any day." while there is no flight log proving Musk actually went to the island. The correspondence shows a friendly, transactional relationship that contradicts Musk's public New to the spotlight is New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch. The files show him emailing Epstein about adult women and asking for introductions. Tisch has released a statement regretting the brief association, but it highlights a pattern. Epstein was a concierge of desire for the ultra-wealthy, but nothing has fueled the public imagination more than the structure on the southwest point of the island. The temple? Internet theorists have dubbed this the Baal Temple, linking it to ancient Canaanite deity worship and ritual sacrifice. We need to separate fact from fiction. Here is the verified reality. The building was a bizarre, windowless structure with a locking door that could not be opened from the inside. Workers on the island described it as a place where Epstein would disappear with young women. While there is no verified evidence in the 3 million pages of baby eating or literal demon worship, the reality is arguably more terrifying. The temple was a monument to Epstein's ego and control. It was a place designed to terrify and silence victims. The Baal theory is a metaphor that the internet created to explain a horror that feels inhuman. But these weren't demons. They were men. The focus on satanic rituals often distracts from the verified crimes. The systematic breaking of will, the financial coercion, and the use of cameras to record powerful men for blackmail. Epstein didn't need a demon. He had leverage. This leads to the ultimate question. How did he get away with it for so long? The 2026 files paint a picture of an intelligence operation disguised as a sex ring. We see emails where Epstein is vetting girls, not just for sex, but for their ability to be discreet. We see him hoarding information, the compromat. Why did the Florida prosecutors back down in 2008? Why was a 60-count indictment buried? The leading theory, supported by the sheer volume of protected names in these files, is that Epstein was an asset. He knew too much about too many people. Even the king of pop, Michael Jackson, appears in the files not as an abuser, but as a visitor to Epstein's Palm Beach home. The files clarify he refused a massage. It shows Epstein's desperation to be close to fame, to be the center of the cultural gravity. 3 million pages. And yet, the feeling is not one of closure, but of exhaustion. We have the names, we have the dates, we have the photos of princes and presidents. The tragedy of the Epstein Files is not just the crimes committed, but the society that allowed them. It is a story of a class of people who believe they are above the law for 30 years. They were right. Charlene Richard and the other survivors are still fighting. Not just for money, but for the truth that remains redacted. The 2026 release is a victory, but it is also a reminder. The system protects its own. They thought the files would never be opened. They were wrong. But the question remains. Now that we know, what will we do about it? End screen with a single question. Justice or illusion?